There's a couple different ways to determine your guy wire size. We've got a guy wire gauge, and we'll use it to measure the Edison guy. When you're using the guy gauge to determine your guy wire size, you're going to want to make sure that the wires fit snugly between your guy gauge. In addition to a guy gauge, there's also colors marked on the guy wire. This color right here is orange, which corresponds to a 3/8 inch down guy. So you can use the guy gauge, or you can use the paint color that's on the guy. Now if we want to measure the communication guys, we've got another guy gauge for that, and that comes in sizes from a 1/4 inch all the way up to a 1/2 inch. Do the same thing with the communication guy. Got our 1/4 inch guy gauge, measure it up, and that's how we determine our guy wire size. If you look across the street, you'll see two span guys that are being backed up by guy wires. And when you're trying to identify the size of the span guy, one of the things you can do is use binoculars. And with my binoculars, I was able to see the orange paint on the span guys, which tells me that they're a 3/8. The other thing that you can do if you don't have paint is you can go to the guy wire that's backing up the span guy. You can measure that with your guy gauge, and then you can use that as a reference point where they both attach to the pole at the same spot. The messenger carries the communication bundle from pole to pole. On cable TV, the messenger is generally a 1/4 inch. On communication, the messenger is generally 5/16. These aren't always the case, but usually they are. It can be difficult to determine the size of the messenger when you're 20 feet below the pole. One method of determining messenger size is to measure communication down guys when they're present with a guy gauge. Once the down guy is measured, you can compare the down guy at the point of attachment with the messenger. The guy wire on the dead end pole is often the same size as the messenger being backed up by the down guy. Some other aids in determining the size of communication lines and associated messengers are the 1-inch lashing wire clamp, which is fastened to the messenger. There's also the 1/4 inch bolt and the 7/16 inch nut. Knowing the size of these parts can help you to determine the size of the messenger through comparison.